Alright, mate. Okay, guys, this is gonna be Necrotic Wake 17, Tyrannical, Sanguine, Storming, Tormented, of course. A new season, new patch, new affixes, new videos, fast, click before it's gone, gone viral, gone sexual, gone wrong, never seen before. Huge drama, wow, click here, amazing. Anyway, there's quite a bit to talk about here, because this kit was actually interesting. I rewatched it once, so I vaguely remember most of the things that I want to talk about while we're watching this. So let's get on with it. This first pull, this is nothing special. This is like honestly, this week is, I don't want to say easy. It provides certain challenges. Obviously, storming is as easy as your players are capable of dodging it, and storming can in some dungeons make your life a living hell. It's very annoying, especially for casters, or if you have like a melee heavy group, then the guys need to watch out and stuff like that. So there's definitely, it provides its challenges, but we'll talk about it in a bit, because I do want to address this pull. So basically, we went into this pull blindly. Well, for me blindly, because I did not expect it. So like, we're here, I'm not expecting this, and I was very stressed out here. I popped my main two big CDs, which is like kind of like the combination that we want to use during the difficult moments, which would be Ascended Boon plus Rupture. Then we missed interrupt on one drain fluids. Person got hit by the infernal, and then we missed an by the scorching thingy, and then we missed an interrupt as well. So things were going really hectic, and I thought, you guys know how bugs are. I thought this is it, like people are leaving after this. You see here one more missed interrupt. By the way, Mage had interrupt here. If you guys rewatch that whole sequence, Mage did have interrupt, and here I positioned myself very good for throw cleaver. But I think that it's either the guy died as the cleaver was thrown, or he died to cleaver and then I died to something else. Either way, we ended up with 5 deaths after that pull. However, I will say this though, even with these deaths and with how sloppy this pull was, I still think we borderline saved time, or it's pretty close. So this wasn't that bad. It was messy, it looked ugly, it was risky, but it wasn't that bad. It was nice. By the way, this in general, this Tormented is the Torment, or however you call them, lieutenants, I think they're called. They're always difficult. Sorry, they're not all difficult, is what I want to say. Not they are always difficult. I actually wanted to say it exactly opposite. Like, I only find the one with fear to be stressful, and this one with fire. The other two are pretty much free. Like, frost one is... It was hard at start when you kind of weren't used to it, but now you like, it's so scripted and so easy. Like, he puts a dot on one guy and he slows you, and then he does a frontal, which you need to move only a little bit because the hitbox is so tiny, and then afterwards he will just start doing the mechanic that well, essentially the fourth boss of this dungeon has, with those like frost meteors. And it's very simple, just dodge, just pre-plan your movement, and you're fine. But yeah, as I said, this week packs are pretty free, so I would encourage tanks and groups. If you guys have pre-made group, I would strongly encourage you to do some bigger pulls this week. It's not difficult, really. Obviously not always, but sometimes you can kind of save a lot of time by just doing a bigger pull. And here it was baffling to me why we did not pull extra. Like, this group does a lot of damage, we're all doing pretty good, and also while we have these orbs running, you really want to pull extra. And here I was actually thinking about pulling these patchwork soldiers, but honestly, if I was a tank and somebody was pulling for me, I would be pretty annoyed. So I decided I decided I'm not gonna do it. I think it's scummy to do that for your tank. As I said, once again, if I was a DPS player and I had people pulling for me, I would be pretty fucking pissed. So okay, I gotta stop swearing for real. Anyway, I asked if they want spear. They said no. Like, nobody said anything. I'm new to being Kyrian. I mean, I'm not even new at this point, right? It's been like almost a month now. But I'm not used to doing these Kyrian things in dungeons. I avoid doing them if there's another Kyrian and all of that stuff. So I don't like spearing, although spearing technically isn't even a Kyrian job, right? But as a healer, I don't like to do these things because I would rather focus on keeping people alive. Obviously, if it's required of me, like if we gain something from me doing these things, I'm gonna do it. But otherwise, I'm gonna let somebody else do it that has more experience in general, because I started pushing these keys like pretty late into Shadowlands patch. Like it took me like 2 or 3 weeks to start pushing keys, so like nobody really, you know, I was low Raya when I started, so I pogged a lot and I didn't really have that much experience, and I'm not the person that likes to do things if I'm not sure what I'm doing. Like, I would rather let somebody who knows what they're doing, even if they maybe don't really know what they're doing, but at least they, you know, they're confident in that. So, you know, I would rather have these people do these things than me who has no idea what I'm doing. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it's just like a habit from the old, like, from the very beginning of the patch, from like the January. So it's something I'm trying to like nullify now. You know, I'm trying to do like more things and stuff like that. Obviously, it's not like a lack of confidence or anything. It's just that I realize that there are people that have done this for a very long time and have like a very specific plan in their head, and in this dungeon these weapons are very important, which is what I wanted to talk about. Like in one of the previous keys, also Necrotic, I think I played the Holy Priest there, I have said that Necrotic Wake has become one of the easier keys, and I do somewhat stand behind that statement. I do not think it's an incorrect statement. This dungeon got nerfed quite a bit, but it got buffed back up. It was a shadow patch actually, it didn't have patch notes, but the damage on the weapons got nerfed. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember reading that it got nerfed by 50%. 50%, that is huge. That's like, I don't even know how they had the courage to just nerf something straight up by half. That is a really big nerf, and it changes a lot of things. Because there were pulls that you were able to do with spears and with hammers and just for free basically, but they said that is not how we want our game to be played apparently. And you can see how they also like nerfed plague borers as well. So they just, I think it feels like Blizzard doesn't want us to like cheese these packs, because people figured out if you have a powerful tool that helps you beat pulls, then I'm not gonna do it on just one pull. I'm gonna pull like 7 packs and do it on 7 pulls. And in my opinion, the better way to handle this would be, instead of nerfing damage, they should have just target capped it. That's how they nerfed certain AoE classes as well. You deal too much damage on big pulls, target cap, easy. And I know somebody is gonna say, no, I hate target cap, it sucks. I agree. I think we should all be target capped, or nobody should be target capped. Like, make up your mind, either one or the other. I'm just trying to get into their head, you know, and kind of see what they were thinking. And here I do a nice push out of Sanguine. That's something that shamans and I think hunters as well and priests should be very aware of on Sanguine weeks. These pushes are very important. Also, if you have perhaps an ability like a grip, like that grip from Death Knights and stuff like that, you should also be aware of that. Do not let mobs sit in Sanguine. It is such a waste of time, especially if you're dealing with a bigger mob with a lot of HP and they're sitting in Sanguine. You are gonna lose a lot of time, potentially even risking a wipe. And here the mage gets, I don't know why he's so scared. Like, when these guys are suited, you can literally just run around them, like they're not gonna aggro. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about what Blizzard is thinking and the nerfs and all of that. It's not my place to talk about. I haven't done a lot of research on that, so I don't want to be, you know, once again, I'm not the person that's gonna talk about things if I'm not informed about them. I don't want to spread misinformation. I hate people that are doing that, you know. they don't know anything about it. Like the change happened 1 day ago, and they immediately released like 5 videos talking about how Blizzard has no idea what they're doing, even though they haven't seen it in practice yet. You know, people just like to whine nowadays a lot, and I really dislike that, and I don't want to be one of those people. So I'm just gonna focus on our dungeon, and I'm gonna try to walk you guys through my thought process here, and I'm gonna try to walk you guys through what's going on in the dungeon. And hopefully somebody will find it either entertaining or helpful, and hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Either way, dealing with the frost guy, as I said, is very simple. As you guys saw, you can even ice block this. You can do a lot of things with the debuff. It is not very strong. This can be a bit scary if you're chain pulling this guy into another pool. But you can see me here. I say go because we have a patrol coming, skeletal monstrosity. He's coming, and also there's one more reason. It's because I simply feel like we're done with this guy. He's gonna die to dots. We have Warlock, and we have me. Like, he's dead to dots. We should just pull into this, and I'm probably gonna open up this guy here because I used my bird guy. Yeah, there you go, bird guy. He's gonna click the Goliath and turn the malfunctioning Goliath into very functioning orbs of annihilation for us. Man, I love these orbs. I just love like how they just go like bzz, 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 and it's like, I don't know, something about it just feels so good when you walk into a pack and you're just bzzing everyone. It's so fun. But yeah, dude, I just realized I was actually pretty scummy in this key. Like, I didn't use food after we died the first time, and I didn't even use augment runes, even though nowadays when augment runes are so abundant and so like easy to get nowadays that I just use them every time I try to like push a key. So I was being a cheapskate apparently, which is weird because I've done a lot of keys this week and I've always used them, and this one key that actually works out, I haven't used them. Because like I've had really bad luck this week. I wanted to do more keys, but I've had levers everywhere, dude. I don't know what's up with people, but 4 keys in a row yesterday, I've had people leave. It's just very frustrating. I hate it when people leave. Like, I don't mind failed keys, you know, just say GG, we tried. It is what it is. Just GG, thank you guys for your time, bye, you know, better luck next time. You don't even have to say that. Just leaving is better than, I mean, like, not like leaving in the middle of the dungeon, but like just, you know, you see it's not timeable and you say, sorry guys, I came to time, you know, to time a key, and then just leave. Like, I don't see the need for being like it's okay. You guys know the struggle. If you're bugged, you know the struggle of this. Like, some people are just not very considerate of other people's time, but yeah, I don't really like, if we're doing a push key and we you know, fudge up the push key, then I understand why people are leaving. I understand that it's a waste of time. I didn't, you know, if I want items or weekly, I'm gonna do 15s. I'm not gonna push keys. But there's also a lot of times people like me that come to kind of do both, you know, like weekly plus push if possible, and then leaving just kind of screws people like us a lot. But that's okay. Like, nobody's obliged to, you know, stay if the key isn't offering the promised, you know, the promised materials. In a sense that, okay, materials, that was a weird way to phrase it. Not promised material, like promised, you know, we promised push, so if we can't push, then, you know, nobody's obliged to stay for weekly. That's what I wanted to say. Even though I know some people are gonna be upset because of that, but yeah. And either way, this guy, as I said, this guy is a bit scary, simply because, well, one simple fact is, like, minus 50 healing, very stressful, because these guys are dropping and you do not know how to keep them up always. It gets quite tricky. I think I might Tuft tank here, and yeah, I'm a bit unlucky that this doesn't go on mage, because mage can ice block this and it helps you out quite a lot. However, it got on us. As always, guys, pay attention to abilities I'm using. I've gotten much better at using my defensives. See, popping both Fade and Desperate Prayer, very important. Fade decreases the damage for 5 seconds by like 10%, whereas Desperate Prayer will of course increase my HP and provide that extra little bit of healing through Conduit. So just like using your conduits, using your abilities properly is a big part of moving up in the keys. And here I tried to shackle, I'm out of range, so by the time I actually shackled him, I think they kind of gave up on that idea, so they break the shackle, which is totally fine, and we actually have a good amount of damage here. This lock is doing really good in my opinion, and Frost Mage of course is really good for these type of situations when there's like multiple targets and multiple like 2 target, 3 target packs where he can like kind of like cleave and throw his orbs and icicles and all of that jazz. And we're just, you know, we're just keeping it stable. Here I'm applying atonements again. I just want them all to have like a full-time atonement so I can deal damage. And then I renew it. This was a bit preemptive, premature, as always, Sag. If you know, you know. If you don't, then you don't. It is what it is. And I start dropping people here very quickly. And this is what I wanted to say that you guys should be careful about. Like, these guys... When he does Unholy Frenzy plus this army and the last has expired, that is the most dangerous one. This one and the last one. They really want to try to kill him now before the next one, because you will start losing people. Like, it's very, very, very difficult to keep people up here. As Holy Priest, it was easier. As this, like, this gets really challenging. I had to use Barrier, Shadow Fiend, Kyrian Boon, Ruptures, everything at our disposal. Toothed as well, and I would have used Paints up here as well. It's just like every single toolkit, every single tool in our toolkit needs to be used to beat this boss. For just a 1 minute 40-second boss fight. This boss is really hard, guys. This boss is probably the hardest like number check on this in this dungeon, and probably the hardest boss overall of this dungeon. He's a very challenging boss. There's really no shame in if you wipe, if you die if you kill your key to this boss and stuff like that. Do not feel bad. It really is a hard boss in my opinion. I know some people might disagree, and I bet from DPS perspective that boss is like really easy, like you just kill ads, lol. And it's true, it is essentially that, just kill ads, but the damage is so overwhelming. It really is on Tyrannical, and you gotta be careful. Make sure your DPS is also popping defensives. Make sure they're not taking the breaths, because if they get breathed, somebody's gonna die for sure. Either way, that worked out quite nicely. So far we're doing good, right? Besides those 5 deaths, if you guys pay attention, like 5 deaths happened at start. This was on the first Tormentor guy, and after that we had no deaths so far, so that's really good. But guess what? I just jinxed us. Well, I can't really jinx us because this is like a reactive commentary to the key, so like it's not really a jinx. But here I'm not sure if this guy made a mistake or not. He said arcane, which I'm assuming he's referring to the orb. And he did like a really big pull, and I'm a fan of this pull. I'm actually a fan of this pull, but this is what killed us. This guy stood here in Sanguine, and if he didn't, we would have lived. I guarantee you guys, if this guy wasn't standing in Sanguine, nobody dies here. But because he did, we could not interrupt enough, and he just started casting, and I was too focused on like moving him out. Like you can see, I popped both Shining Force and tried to fear him out, and just didn't work. And that's just very unfortunate. I did die to Cleaver there in the end, so like it was preventable. But as I said, I was too focused on moving him out. And here we took 3 extra deaths. It's not that big of a deal.
Drain fluids.
It's totally fine, and we still saved a lot of time on this pull, for sure. Absolutely. And this was a good pull. This is, as I said, like
Gore splatter.
Yeah, sorry, I was reading what I'm saying. I was hoping I'm not gonna say something offensive, because yeah, because of video. Whoops. Okay, we're good. No F words were dropped, no R words. It's all good. It's all good. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm usually not toxic. Like I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys that I've never been toxic in keys. I've also said like some bad things, but I never go for, you know, I never go for those, like, you know, there are people that take it too far. There's people that say like, you know, I hope you die. I hope that, nah, that's so distasteful and bad. Don't do that. Like the most I go through is like I just say like, you know, your trash smiley face and then just leave. Run away. Stuff like that. But honestly, it's been a while since I've done that. I just don't care nowadays. I'm too like.
Take the beast's
There's just no
power.
point, you know. It's such a waste of time. You know, when things don't work out, I just smile and just turn off the game. To be honest. And here I finally decide to eat the food with a buff. And I actually think it gets cancelled. Let's see. No,
Repair
I got the
flesh.
buff. Pog. Wow, okay. What a player. I like to fear this so melee can hit. Although I realize now that, I mean not now, I realize in the key as well that we actually have no melee. So that was kind of pointless. But yeah, you know what I mean. And here I did something cool.
Drain fluids.
Okay, well actually it's not that cool. Never mind. I thought it's gonna be cool. I thought I'm gonna push him into the pack. I usually do that, and people like when I do that because, for example, these AoE abilities like Blizzard and Quake, like they're positional, right? So if adds are not stacked up nicely, these guys lose a lot of damage, and we kill packs much slower. So, you know, I like to think about these things, and I like to use Shining Force to push mobs into like packs where we need them to be. Just like a little bit of extra that you can do as a priest, since I think one of the main things what makes us a good class is the utility we bring. People will often forget about our grip, right? Like Leap of Faith. People often forget about mind control, about Shackle Undead, about Shining Force, about Fear, but these are all very nice abilities that we can utilize. Also Dispel Magic as well. It's a 1 global CD to dispel a strong buff. It is very powerful in certain dungeons, and it can sometimes make a difference between wiping and not, because certain buffs are very strong and they're meant to be like Spell Stall or Dispel ASAP, and if you don't have a class that does that, then you're in a little bit of trouble, and it makes things a little bit more difficult for you. But we have like a no CD, 1 global cast, Dispel Magic. It is very strong. It's just a very strong ability. Okay. Okay, these guys, you guys know what to do here. This is like make them shoot each other, and we just kind of focus on them. We deal damage, spear this boss. Think we have to. We got no lost. Okay, I actually was wrong. Wrong. I tend to forget that the boss happens
Drain fluids.
after 2 more packs. So like I'm thinking we kill these guys and then boss, but I'm wrong. Because I'm not wrong, I know it's not like that, but every single time I think once we kill these guys we fight boss. It's just like for some reason I just like got that into my head, and it's hard to get it out. But no, that is not what happens. There's still 2 more packs to come, so we might get lost back here. So what I said is wrong, but I think we still have 2 spears. So I think optimal usage would be to spear the boss and then spear the other boss. I'm kind of against the idea of like, I think it could be good to use 2 spears on 1 boss. I don't know if there's like some sort of thing that prevents you from doing that. As far as I know, there isn't. You could technically take 5 spears and just spear 1 boss and just kill him instantly, which I think would actually be pretty cool thing to do. I'm just not sure whether I would prefer doing it on 4th boss or 3rd boss. See, the thing is, like, 4th boss is longer most of the time, but if your team takes Necrotic thingy, I believe that it does reduce the shield of the Lich guy quite a bit, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think that Necrotic thingies reduce it quite a bit, right? Same way you use it on Hakar, I think it's good in this dungeon as well to not have him shield. I don't know if it's worth investing like too much on it in Fortified Wake, I don't think so, but on the Tyrannical I definitely think that isn't that like the best single target DPS anyway? So like there's like double value in it, so I definitely think people should take at least 1 or 2, right? And then because of that, I do think that using like if you can 1 phase with spears, Surge and Stitch Flash, I think it would be worth using both spears, or even 3 spears. But I don't know if that's possible at this like at the current current scaling of our gear and all of that. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not saying it's not. I just don't know. I really don't know. Because the groups I've played with all had like so much random damage differences. Like, one time everybody does 10k, the other time nobody can go over 6k, and it all depends a lot on the pulls as well and a lot of other things. So it's just overall, like, I'm not sure, so that's why I'm not gonna say anything. I think if you can one phase Stitch Flash without having him jump back to platform on Tyrannical, you should definitely do it, even if it means saving all the spears for him, in my opinion. Although I would be more worried about Amart than Stitch Flash. As long as you execute Stitch Flash, you are fine. Like, if you execute mechanics. And here, I was a bit playing risky. I stayed too far away. I kind of zoned out, and I wasn't thinking. So if I got a hook, I'm not sure if I would be able to make it. To be honest, I think I could have griefed us there pretty badly. So that's a really big oversight on my part, and I'm really not proud of it. But it is what it is. And this fight should be pretty good for us because we have strong, like, single target from our Warlock, and then we have one of the best 2-target damage in the Frost Mage. So we're pretty much made for this. Like, we really should be owning this boss, and we did. As you can see, we did a lot of damage here, and now things get a bit scary because we get 2 adds, and on Tyrannical week that is very scary. These guys deal a lot of damage, super spooky. And here one thing I'll try to explain, and I moved here very good. When Morbid Fixation comes out with a hook, you want to move to where the hook guy is. You all need to move, because once fixation happens, he will move towards you, and if you're not standing there, what can happen is he will hook, and then the boss moves and the person gets hooked, potentially even dies, and you don't get free damage on boss and cancel fixation. So it's like a lose situation if you don't do that. Please do that always. And here things got really scary. Luckily I had an emergency dome plus desperate prayer. Notice how I used my defenses and I used my cooldown, and it's a very good usage. That was very scary. However, we made it through, and we're looking pretty good to time this key. We have 8 minutes left for the last boss. Pretty cozy. If it was a little bit cleaner, I feel like we could have also +2'd it. If tank like did a little, some pulls he did like too risky, some pulls he did like not enough risky. In my opinion, we could have easily pulled 2 packs into the first boss, like Blightbone, especially considering we already had 1 power and we could have made this much quicker. But I'm still very pleased with this dungeon, considering it's like a pug dungeon, like all 4 of these people are pugs. And I'm gonna let you guys enjoy this this key. Also, one thing to say about Surgeon Stitch Flash is pay attention. Like, first hook, go to hook guy, because Morbid Fixation is coming. Second hook, be ready to go to boss. It will all second hook is always gonna be when the boss jumps out, jumps back on the platform. Go there, pre-position. Go there, be ready to hook the boss back in. Like, it's the boss is not that hard. The wipes happen when people start missing hooks, and when people are not aware that Morbid Fixation can move the boss, and that the tank has no control over where the boss stands. It's a simple formula. So first hook, of course you go to the platform to hook the boss in the fight. Second hook is gonna be overlap with Morbid Fixation. Because of Morbid Fixation, you wanna stand behind the hook person. Third hook is gonna be after he jumps back away, so position yourself so you can hook him back into the fight. Rinse, repeat. After the first hook, so hook 1 is always overlap with Morbid Fixation, hook 2 is always taking him from the platform. This boss also very scripted, very simple. Never should die to this boss. Don't be greedy when he casts these meteors, just move. Move, cast, move, cast, move, cast. Or just, if you're not sure you can do that, because some classes can't, for example, there's a lot of casts that I cannot get through there. When he starts Meteor, or whatever it's called, like Comet Storm or whatever, you can just like see what I do. Like I'm casting insta casts while I'm moving. I'm making a circle so he casts them all, and then I'm just, you know, playing it safe. Like I'm not about to wipe us on this key, especially as a healer. If I die here, it's gonna be hard due to like me being greedy for, I don't know, a smite cast or a radiance cast or whatever. Like just don't do that. It's very unnecessary, unless you're really trying to squeeze in time, you know, like you're already behind and all of that. Either way, guys, if you have any questions, any suggestions, anything I can help you with regarding priests or anything else in general, I'd be happy to help. Feel free to ask in comments. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I'm trying my best to make them as entertaining as possible. I know there's a lot of people that are capable of doing exactly what I do, but I'm trying to kind of share my thought process alongside. And I know like healers are sometimes, you know, people are not sure how to heal certain things, especially the disc is a pretty, I think, spec where people struggle quite a bit. So this is why I decided to play disc instead of holy for M+, and also because I enjoy it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. You know, like, subscribe, comment if you feel like it, and thanks for the support lately, guys. You have been amazing, and I really appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.